In this video, I'm going to take you from the daily time frame down to the 1 hour time frame and show you exactly how I will find a trade setup. The problem with most trade setup is that traders see a break of structure and immediately think, okay, let's buy, or they see a bearish break of structure and start thinking, let's sell. Well, I need to understand what caused that break of structure, who was induced, where those traders that are induced are trapped. Price, is there liquidity that price needs to take out? That is the difference between simply seeing structure and actually reading structure. Okay, so here is the Clark's FX trade framework. So what I do is, on the higher time frame, I'm looking out for three things. I'm looking out for liquidity block. Secondly, I'm looking out for a break of structure. Then thirdly, I'm looking out for inducement / trap. Now, once I've gotten this on the higher time frame, I now move down to the lower time frame and repeat the same process. Okay guys, so from the daily time frame, we can see that we have what? A break of structure to the downside. Since we have this break of structure to the downside, it means that what? Sellers are induced. If sellers are induced, we need to look at the high that created this low to know if it's what protected or what if it is liquidity. Now in this case, I can see that we have swept something here. Therefore, we have a liquidity sweep above, and if I zoom in, you can see that we have a break of structure. Because of this break of structure, now it means that what this high is protected. Why? We had a high, had a low, the market took out that high and took out this low. So this is what? A liquidity block. Now, if that is a liquidity block, the next high I can see here, which is this zone here now, becomes what? My liquidity. So after that, I can see that this low here that we have built, okay, we swept something from this low. That is what we have, a sweep, and we broke structure to the upside. Since we have taken this structure to the upside, it means that what? That buyers are what? Are induced. Now if buyers are induced, you can see that the market created this high, then came to retest this level. Why? Was respecting this low. Now the fact that this market have respected this level now means that this zone is no longer going to hold price if price comes back to this zone. Therefore, I have what? Liquidity resting below this zone. I have liquidity resting below this zone. If I have liquidity resting below this zone, I can also see that at this point here now that we had what? Another break of structure here, and this market have come back to retest this level here, which is this. Therefore, I can now say that this whole zone is going to be what? A trap if this market comes back to this level. Now, because I know that this place is a trap, I now want this market to come and take out this liquidity here, so that if I'm selling, I will target this low. Now, currently I'm on the daily time frame, so I cannot see enough price action here. If I go to my 4-hour time frame, okay, so on the 4-hour time frame, I can see that I have another break of structure here, and I have this other break of structure here. So the next thing I want to check is this break of structure, if they are protected or not. Now I can't see this break of structure. I don't know if this break of structure is actually protected here, because I can't. This price action is squeezed up. If I now go to my 1-hour time frame, so this can actually be the 1-hour time frame or lower. You get 1-hour time frame or lower. So on the 1-hour time frame, I can see that I have this. We have taken out a low here. The market sweep something here. Now because of this sweep, I can see that this place is now what? This level is now what? Is now a protected low. Now if that level is a protected low, where are these buyers trapped? Because for us to be able to buy this market, we want the early buyers to be taken out. Now I can see that these buyers were trapped here. This is the first one I can see. Yet, but because we have another break of structure here, not only this one. Now I want to look at this level now. I want to look at this price leg to see if I will see another trap or liquidity below that zone. So if I go to the 15 minutes, so on the 15 minutes, remember this low that we have established here as a protected low. We can see that price have swept something here again. So this other low here is what is protected. Let me zoom out so that you see it. So this low is protected, and we have this break of structure to the upside. Now, since we have this break of structure to the upside, what does it entail? It tells that what these buyers are induced. Remember, here is what is our sweep. Therefore, from this break of structure to this point is now where we have what our liquidity block. But now you can see that there was this early sales here, then this buy is now consumed. So these people that bought here now are the early buyers, and this is the people you want the market to come and take out before you do what? Before you take your trade. So this is going to be what my structural liquidity. Therefore, my liquidity block, sorry, my liquidity block is now going to be from here to this higher time frame liquidity block here. Then if I zoom in back to the screen, so this is what I'm expecting. So this is the liquidity I want the market to come and take out. This one. So we have established liquidity, we have established our entry. So where are we now going to target? If we place our trade here, stop loss below this low, where are we going to target? Now we can decide to target the high when the market is coming down, but for a better target, since we know where the market is going, if I go to my 4-hour time frame and I want to see the next old high that the market have not taken, and in this case it is this one, so therefore this is not going to be where I'm looking at targeting. So the setup now becomes this. So this is how our setup is now going to look like. So this is not going to be our setup on good. So if you enjoyed this analysis and if you learned something new, please subscribe, like, and comment where you did not understand, and I promise I'm going to make a video to explain that part for you. Thank you.